again. This is Let's Write a Song. I'm your host, Andy Cole, coming to you from Treaty 1 territory, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. This is a show where I talk with cool people and you get to be there and meet them. And then I write a song with them. And you get to be there for that too. You're along for the whole journey. And hopefully we get to know them beyond just the surface level. The artifice gets stripped away a bit. That's kind of what we go for. I don't want to make my guests uncomfortable. That's not fun for anybody. And a lot of times it's not productive. But you hope that you get to a little bit of sense of the person behind even what they put forth, which is the opposite of what's going on this week. It's Halloween, or it's, the whole month is Halloween. October should just be renamed. Nothing but masks and obfuscation everywhere. I was never really one for Halloween. As a kid, I liked the getting candy part. That was great. I remember being neither pumped nor psyched for wearing a costume. One year, probably my best one, was something I got my mom to make me. I was Two-Face, the villain from Batman, and my mom actually cut two of my dad's old suits in half and sewed them together as one. There was like a black pinstripe, and the other half was a heavy brown corduroy. The contrast was amazing. I remember it vividly. I remember wearing it. I remember that the pants didn't quite, the waists didn't quite match up, because there's only so much you can do. They're different pants. We got fake skin that I stuck on my face to look like scars. I got to wear a fedora hat, which you're 9. You get to wear a fedora hat pretty good. About the only time in your life you can or should get away with wearing a fedora. I don't remember other years, really, what I went as. I was a hippie one year. I think it was a last minute one because you can just grab old clothes out of your parents' room and that's fine. I remember seeing a photo of myself. I was dressed up as Superman. That was definitely a costume one year. And that makes sense. That tracks with what I was into when I was a kid. But dressing up as superheroes anymore? No, not for me. No, thanks. Our guest this week is someone who is one of the few people I know who actually does possess a superpower. Our guest this week is Eric Ducharme. Eric has the ability to become invisible. I have spent, all told, about 8 weeks in a van next to Eric. Might be around 9, actually. We play in the same band. We've toured coast to coast across Canada, and while I spent much of that time less than an arm's length away from him, there were times when I forgot Eric was there. He blended in to the vehicle. He did this chameleon thing, but better, because it was almost like he was transparent. The seats, the piles of sleeping bags, the luggage, and somewhere in there was Eric, being really still and really quiet. Eric is a very quiet person. He values his space, his privacy, but he's also a very warm person. When he opens up and he lets you get to know him, it's wonderful. And you feel like you almost cracked something. You're like, oh, this interesting person is opening up. And it's so nice. He's friendly. He's considerate. He's very generous. And he's very kind. But he requires a lot of time to recharge his batteries, I feel. Eric and I grew close on the 6-week tour where we first got to know each other. There were moments where everyone in the van was all joking around together, riffing on something. We were sharing the experience that way. It was great. And there are also moments on a trip like that where you're all quiet together. You're quiet about the same thing. When you're crossing through the Rocky Mountains, and there's a late spring snowstorm, and you're moving cautiously through it along the highway. And it's dangerous. You do feel the danger around you, and there is awe as well at, the power of nature. And then the storm breaks, you get beyond it, and the view opens up. And suddenly those mountains you've been battling through are clear, and they're catching the glow of the sunset, and the sky behind the mountain is already dark, and it's surreal, and it's beautiful. And none of you in the vehicle can say anything intelligible because it takes time, quiet, internal, thoughtful time to process it. So you're quiet together. I feel I understand quiet people. I am one to a degree. And that's why I was happy Eric came on this show and was so open and was willing to talk. And I'm glad you get to hear him because I feel like a lot of people don't get to hear Eric. So please enjoy our interview with him this week and the song. Should we live dangerously and leave that window open? What do you think? This is a noisy neighborhood.
I like noisy neighborhoods. They're like makes you feel a part of the world.
I do. That's why I leave the window open too.
Mine's open like 24/7. Doesn't matter how cold it gets.
Oh, cold. And you say your place gets cold too, right?
My old place used to get like super cold.
Yeah.
The new one is a lot more warmer. It's a lot better.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah. I have my system now for this apartment because this is an old building. Mm-hmm. So its windows always open at least a crack, even in winter, because the radiators are either full blast or off.
Yeah.
So I've chosen full blast radiator with crack of window, and that like keeps the place at a temperate level. You were almost going to get an apartment in this building, were you?
Yeah. There was a place. It was perfect. The only thing is that they had like a deep sink, like the old-timey sinks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it was that was the only thing in the kitchen. There was no cutting board, there's no counter. It was just
a room with a sink?
Yeah, it was just a fridge, sink, and like the window. And
yeah.
It suited like the feng shui, I guess.
I guess, but at the same time, I feel like if there wasn't a fridge in there, I don't think you're allowed to even call that a kitchen because what else? Like this other.
Yeah, but it just had this like really big tub of a sink and like, cool.
Yeah. Did you need something over there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get some water.
Oh yeah. Pour away.
Do you want to like
listen to that? Do that by the mic if you could.
Today on ASMR, we're gonna make you want to pee.
ASMR. Hey. I'm going to flutter my fingers around the microphone. It's not at all the most awkward thing in the world to watch somebody do. Do you watch ASMR? We've talked about ASMR a little bit, right? Do you watch ASMR videos? Are you into them? Do they work on you?
I think it depends. Like the one that always gives me the tinklies is the barbershop thing where it's like there's clippers and like it's there's like it's just right beside your ears.
That's very evocative, I guess. Yeah. I have like a lot of because everyone has gotten their haircut. It just happens, right?
Yeah.
I have a lot of memories, I guess, tied to that.
But like that one oddly like pushes me like way back to like I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like my first experience of a barbershop and just like wondering if this guy's gonna cut off my ear or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like. I can't remember if I remember my first trip to a barbershop, but I definitely remember like one of my first trips. Because it was my dad's friend. And he was this guy, his name was Mr. Premi. And his this Italian guy, he was very nice. And he was like, his office, his shop, it was like right next to my doctor. So I already had this association with like that area of town as like, this is where things go to get done. So I thought it would be a very clinical thing in my head. And then I just remember like being there and like, I just remember the table with magazines and like old, like this was the 80s. The mid 80s, but it was like very old, like late 60s, 70s look inside. Yeah. Do you remember like your first? Who was that barber?
I can't remember the names. I know exactly which place. Somewhere on Selkirk Street.
Oh wow.
Selkirk Avenue or Street. I don't know. Somewhere down there. I remember. I thought it was a rule to look at the magazines they had, and and like I had to pick out my next. My next haircut.
Oh, like out of the magazine.
Yeah, I thought like I couldn't just tell them like, yeah, just make it this short or whatever. I thought I had to look through the magazine each time I went there and pick one out.
Point at it. This one, please.
Yeah, that's why I always thought they had like magazines. It's like
I should say actually for context too. This would have been the best place to start, but I should say like how we know each other is we basically got put together because we joined up with Hearing Trees.
Yeah,
the band. I came in. Specifically just to jump on the road for that tour. And like we didn't We didn't really know each other. We got
Yeah.
to know each other because we both didn't mind being in the back seat.
Yeah.
At least when I wasn't driving. Mm-hmm. But how did that, like touring in a band, like I say most bands when they tour is like a bunch of buddies and they're in the band and they've done a bunch of shows. But for us, it was like being on the road was the first thing mainly. That's how we got to know each other. It was a weird way to make friends.
Yeah.
But it was fun. But you still, for me, I'm a guy. I need my personal space. Personal space. You gotta want personal space. How do you, for you? And I know space is important to you as well. Mm-hmm. How did you achieve the feeling of personal space when you did not physically have personal space because we're crammed in a van?
It's actually funny because I was thinking about this the other day. Because I had a conversation with a friend that I actually don't have a lot of friends. So like I don't get to talking to a lot of people like 24/7. And I think if I did, I'd be constantly drained. And
Right.
if I was constantly talking on tour, I would have been more like, I would have been more annoyed or whatever, because it's a constant thing for me. It like takes energy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it takes it out of you.
But like I'm sure you noticed just how quiet I was on
Yes.
tour.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was like one of the big things for me. That's how I kind of kept my privacy in a way that I enjoyed like listening to you guys talk like 24/7, all the bits and all the comedy stuff that you guys came up with. And,
Yeah. I think that was a good for you because sometimes if someone's very chatty and then they're quiet
yeah.
and they're not talking much, it's like I've been in a situation on a tour with a different band and you worry. You're like, oh no, the chatty person is not talking.
Yeah.
They're mad at everybody.
And then
Or they're
there's,
mad at me.
there's an awkward tension.
Right, yeah. And for you, it's just like, oh no, Eric's just quiet.
Yeah.
And then, and then sometimes it's like, oh, maybe Eric does actually like.
And then sometimes
Guys.
I'll be like super chatty and I won't shut up or something.
And it's weird.
And it's like, well, he's in a good mood today. And it's not that I'm in a bad mood. It's just that,
You need to be quiet.
yeah,
Sometimes.
my energy just kind of comes out sometimes, and then
Yeah.
I'm more energetic. But yeah, I find a good control in being silent.
Yeah.
Like, I can control myself better.
Have you been that way like always since you were a kid?
Yeah. Around my family, I'm a lot more talkative, but I spent my whole life with them, so
Right, yeah. They know you.
yeah. But like around other people, I'm pretty quiet.
You're a quiet kid.
Quiet guy.
Quiet kid. Were you like, were you a sports kid though? Did you play sports when you were younger? Or
No,
were you always a music kid?
I was always a music kid.
Yeah.
I remember banging all over the couch with drumsticks that my uncle gave me or my dad gave me, and then my dad just finally got me a drum set.
Yeah.
He's like, "Stop ruining the furniture."
That's true though. You can get a drum set for cheaper than a good couch.
Yeah.
So just parents, there's a great solution if your kids are banging on furniture with drumsticks. Just put drums in front of them instead.
Yeah. They have them electric now, so it's not as loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can be super silent. Mm-hmm. So that was your first instrument was drums?
Actually, no. My first instrument was like a junior violin, and I started off on the 4 strings.
Oh yeah.
Started off, ended there. I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
How far did you follow violin?
Well, it could be just my bad memory, but I was the best in my class, I think. Like,
Wow.
even with my bow, I don't know the right word. I would follow the instructor like almost perfectly.
Wow.
Somewhere along the line, I lost it. I can't play violin anymore.
So you pick one up and it's like,
Yeah.
it would be like me playing a violin now. It's just like,
It's like I got hit in the head and then just drums.
You
There
lost
was just
that.
drums after that.
Did you grew up in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
The city? Yeah. What was it like? When did you start getting into the scene here? Like the music when playing and going out and watching.
It was interesting because I primarily grew up in the North End, so I had worried parents that didn't want me going all over the city a lot, so I stayed at home a lot. But there was a decent scene for like metal kids and like kids at like R.B. Russell School. They were just all about like Metallica, Pantera, and like the whole music class was just like everything rock almost.
Right.
So And we would play shows at like the community centers down the street from the school. We'd put on assemblies because there was a big theater of a stage, and it was really great. And I didn't actually, my first show out of school, that was still kind of with school. It was like with the folk fest. I had to work with Greg McPherson.
Oh wow, cool.
And we played at the Park Theater, and that was the very first place I played out of school.
Wow. That's a great place to start.
Yeah, I was super happy.
That's gotta be intimidating when you're a kid playing on that stage.
Oh yeah, especially because like back then it looked like a bar, and like my parents was like, "This is what a bar looks like, son."
Yeah.
And it was I don't know, I might have been like 16 or 17 around there. Yeah, after that I wasn't in much bands until maybe 2015.
Okay.
Shortly after the fire, where I almost lost all my instruments. I lost my drums. I lost crazy amount of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy an amp. I'm gonna fix up my bass that I happened to save.
Yeah.
And then I started looking for bands, and I found this guy. His name's Connor Biggs, and he had this band called The Limit, and I started playing shows with them. I don't remember. There's a place like right across the West End Cultural Center.
Oh yeah, the Ellis Cafe. That one.
Yeah. And that's where I played my first show back, I guess, into doing music.
Your re-entry into the scene.
Yeah, and I started, meeting a lot of people. I think the first person that I met, like out of the band, was like Mano from Silence Kit.
Okay.
We were like jamming at this place somewhere in West Broadway here. Don't exactly remember where, but it was a big house, and there was like at least 6 different like houses, like apartments in that house.
Okay, yeah.
It was really cool, and they were having like a party or something. I don't know. I was like, and then I saw Silence Kit like some years later, and I was like, I don't remember what I said, but they didn't remember me at all. I was like,
rough feeling.
I guess I'm starting from like scratch again.
Yeah. Remember we jammed? It was like a huge moment in my life. I'm gonna remember forever. It was like,
yeah,
dude, I jam with a lot of people.
Yeah. And then I took a break for a while again, and then I started looking again, and wound up in Hearing Trees, and they were like, it was just like the ad was like super plain, very vague.
Yeah.
Touring band looking for a bassist or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, why not? Just try it out.
So you answered a Kijiji ad?
Yeah.
And that's how you joined up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was fun. I had a great time. I'd been on tours with bands like myself, but I'd never been on one that was like, it was essentially 6 weeks of touring. We went coast to coast in Canada. It was awesome. What was your, we've kind of talked about it in the past, but like what were your favorite experiences that we had on the road there? We have, most of the country covered, so.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like it's still like from going to like playing only a few shows to like doing like a nationwide tour pretty much.
Yeah.
It was insane. I was just in kind of autopilot mode the whole time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were very quiet.
Yeah. I was like, this is new.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, this is new.
Yeah, it was fun to for me, like once we hit the mountains going west, that's when I was like, this is uncharted territory for me.
Yeah.
I've never been to BC.
It's like that new area of Skyrim or
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, there might be different rules here.
Yeah, oh, the wood is different here.
The wood's different. Maybe there are different resources.
Oh, yeah. Look out for that goblin. Yeah, I don't know. There were so many different experiences for me. I don't know. Just like going from being in Regina, like to like that small kind of club with like, other shows going on like right next door.
Yeah, we had to wait for a show to finish so we could start our show.
Yeah,
because we were playing the small room at the Exchange in Regina.
Yeah.
And there was basically it was a battle of the bands going on in the next room that we had to wait for it to finish.
Yeah, and then having to deal with like the Hell's Angel guy. That was
that guy.
Whew.
Yeah. Some very strange, very belligerent guy
Yeah,
who
and
insisted he was in the Hells Angels.
Yeah, he didn't say it, but he just kept pointing at his hat that said
Yeah, that's
Hells
Hells
Angels.
Angels. That's
It's like, oh,
nothing is more legit.
good
than,
for you. You found a loophole.
Yeah, yeah. You know what guys in organized crime like doing is advertising that they're an organized crime at you.
It's like
to
here
rooms
as
full
like
of people.
you're as subtle as Batman. You know, like
Yeah.
he just has to announce I'm Batman. You know,
Batman. But you say it really loud, and he points up at his bat hood and the ears, and
and he threatens you, and then like walks off.
yeah.
Like,
Then you realize that he's not Batman. He's just a guy with a Batman mask on.
Yeah.
that anybody could go and get. Yeah,
yeah, just a guy wearing hockey pads.
yeah. That's it. Hey, that's not a grappling hook. That's a boomerang on a rope.
But yeah, going from Regina and then all the way to Vancouver, which probably is one of my favorite cities.
Yeah,
And playing the Roxy, that was really fun.
yeah. And we stayed with one of your friends there, right?
Yeah, one of my best friends, Tori. She used to live here in Winnipeg and sat through a lot of probably annoying drumming as she was visiting my sister. That was very much when I started.
Oh, okay.
So
you go way back when.
Yeah,
Now she's like, now he's playing bass.
yeah. But the most crazy experience on the West Coast had to be the Duncan showroom.
Oh, the Duncan showroom, yeah. Touring musicians who've played a lot of them I think have gone through Duncan, BC, which is on the island.
Yes.
And it was the most magical place I think I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
It's,
It was
to briefly describe it?
It's like an antique Willy Wonka
Yes.
esque type of place.
Yeah. None of the antiques are for sale. It's just like it's a showroom of this one guy's personality and vision. His name is Longevity John. He's a tall old hippie with a half beard. It's a very long beard, but it's only on half of his face. We don't know where the other half went.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and they put on shows like almost every night.
Yeah.
And they have like a 39-day music festival in the summer in this little tiny weird town. Yeah, that was magic. And I've watched a few friends' bands. They also live stream every concert on YouTube. So yeah, I've watched a few friends' bands actually pass through there. Just like we're at the Duncan showroom. Like, oh, good. I know I can watch it, and I know Longevity John will give you a long, weird, rambling, funny intro. I love them. They're a great place, and if you're a band and you're looking for a place to play on the island, definitely Duncan showroom.
It's a magical place.
I remember we got there, and as you do when you're on the road with people for a while, sometimes you just want to split up once you get to where you're going and just again, personal space, right? I'm gonna wander off, see where you are. We were in Duncan on a Sunday, and Duncan's a very small town. It's very sleepy, and I wandered off. I think Graham and I both wandered off because we were looking for a place to eat. Everything was closed. Nothing was open.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of wandering around, and we found City Hall. And we hadn't seen a human being in like an hour. No one was around. Duncan was dead. And all of a sudden, the first people we see, it's in front of City Hall, and there was like square dancing lessons happening or something.
Oh my God, I missed that.
You did see it?
No,
and there was like maybe 10 people in all. Or no, it wasn't square dancing. It was like salsa dancing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. And they were like learning salsa. And on this, on the outdoor stage that I think they must do the music festival on, it was like a cement concrete thing. Yeah, it was. And we're just like, weird. And then we just walked up the next block, and it was back to being dead, and there was no one around.
There's a very beautiful train just in the middle of the city.
Oh, yeah. There's just...
I went to go check that out. And sat in the grass for a bit.
There were a few nice things. Yeah, I remember that. I remember there was a cool totem pole also near City Hall. The next day there was a brewery that was open. That was kind of cool to go hang out.
Yeah.
We ate there.
That was awesome. I had an amazing burger.
Oh yeah, you're all about the burgers.
Yeah, I was off in the corner somewhere and just scarfing down a burger.
Eating a hamburger. That's actually, those are my two memories of you, is being quiet in the van and eating a hamburger someplace. Yeah. Or eating pizza, actually.
Oh, I was always looking out for pizza.
You are, I should say, you're a fan, you're an aficionado of pizza.
Oh, yeah.
In Winnipeg, I want you to rate two. I want you to rate best pizza and best worst pizza.
Best worst pizza. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So
it's
best pizza and then best worst.
yeah, like greasy and greasy.
Greasy. So let's start with best.
Okay.
I recently started my shift at the ballpark, Shaw Park,
Oh yeah, where the Gold Eyes play.
and they used to have a Boston Pizza there, and now they replaced it with a Little Pizza Heaven.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I haven't. That's just this year then, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I went to a few games last year and it was always still Boston Pizza.
There was like this
That's good news.
the big orientation. We had to sit in the ballpark, the seats, and they had the mic on. They're talking about all the new things. Everybody went nuts when they heard about the Little Pizza Heaven.
Oh yeah.
It was, and then I finally had it when I went on my shift break.
Yeah.
It was greasy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was garlicky. It was cheesy, and it was just amazing.
So salty.
It was so good.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. I love Shaw Park is getting so good now too.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, like they got the craft beer corner, which is, yeah. Oh man, I'm just gonna
Which,
get so fat going to games.
At the end of every shift, pretty much, I think I'm on beer can duty.
Oh really?
Which I
Just walk
gotta
around
separate
picking up beer cans.
I gotta separate all of the beer cans.
Oh, you gotta sort them.
So
I know all about that.
yes, it's very much like tour. I come home. I come home to the van or like home smelling like beer, like a bar.
Whether you had beer or not, you
Yeah.
smell like beer. Yeah.
Carrying heavy stuff. A little bit of relaxation, and then go home smelling like beer.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
So best worst pizza.
Best worst pizza for me would have to be. There's multiple places all over the city that have a 99-cent pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think they're affiliated, but I don't know. Some of them
are.
say like 99-cent pizza. It's like number 4. I'm like, I've only seen the one. I only know the one by the university. That's it.
Yeah, Ellis. That's
Yeah.
my favorite. That's my favorite location.
Okay.
Second favorite would be there's one on Selkirk and
Okay.
Salter, and I used to go there for lunch every lunch break after our school.
Yeah.
Everybody would go there, and there would be like, you get back to the school, and in the cafeteria or like the study lounge or whatever, everybody had like 99-cent pizza.
Oh yeah.
It was just $1, and affordable, and
And they've maintained the price.
yeah,
You have to wonder. I know. There was it's not one of my favorites, but there's one in St. James called 95-cent pizza.
yeah.
And they changed the sign, and I guess effectively the name of the business, and now it's 96-cent pizza.
Oh my god.
It's like something. I'm like, what changed? Like maybe they're trying to be realistic, where they're like, if people are wondering how we've been able to maintain our pizza this good, it's not that we're starting to use cheaper ingredients to keep the price. No, every slice is going to go up by a penny now. It's strange.
It is very strange.
No, they pulled that off. So the 99-cent pizza is your pick for.
It
best
has
worst,
to be.
yeah.
I remember the manager, like the guy who kind of like started the 99-cent pizza thing. That's the one on Selkirk and Salter. He used to be there all the time. I think he still is. I didn't go there for 5 years, and then I went back, and he recognized me instantly. I was like, "Oh my
How
god,
much pizza you ate?
yeah!
Where have you been?
How do you remember me right now?"
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
I was like a little emo kid in high school. I look so different now.
You made quite an impression. You're the quiet kid who came in for pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to second Little Pizza Heaven is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. You're right. And now that it's at the ballpark, that's amazing.
Yes.
I do like Trans-Canada Brewing on Kenniston has very good pizza. Nice. If you're ever, it's a long way to go though. I've had it like once because it's just far to go for pizza.
Right.
My best worst is Bunty's. Bunty's is like, oh man, it hits this spot. I love
Absolutely.
It's 89 cents a slice.
And they have chicken too.
Yes. Oh, I know. And their fried chicken and their wedges are good. So
you get a combo and it's like you're set.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was there one time late and I could tell they were trying to get rid of food because I bought 2 slices and they're like, "Yeah, you want to get some chicken too?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, you sure? We got chicken." I'm like, "Oh, that's been there a while." You're trying to unload this chicken on me.
It's basically jerky.
Yeah. They probably thought I was like had come from the bar or something too. When you are like, when that's all it takes. You're like, "I need pizza," and they're like, "Why not fried chicken?" You're like, Yeah, okay.
Absolutely,
I need
yeah.
that too. Put that in me. Yeah. And you'd still get a pile of food and walk out of there, and it would have cost you like $5. Like, it's so cheap.
That was me. Like every time I'm drunk.
I just want to steer us back to pizza.
Right? Yeah, pizza.
Okay. Because as an aficionado, I have a little surprise.
Ooh, surprise!
Now I'm smelling stuff. I have a little surprise for you. All right. So stay right here. Stay right here, and I'm gonna bring something out.
I'm gonna sit here.
And you're gonna sit there, and you're gonna wonder what the surprise could be.
Oh my god!
These are examples of greasy and greasy, in my opinion. So there's the Stella's focaccia pizza, which is a little controversial. Because it's so darn thick. It's a focaccia crust, but it's delicious.
It is very thick.
And then next to it, we have Pizza Bite.
Pizza Bite.
Have you had Pizza Bite?
I have not. I don't think.
Pizza Bite is that super sketchy one right next to the Handsome Daughter, or like a couple doors up, just right over here. You probably would have walked past it on the way here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have some sketchy, greasy pizza.
This is amazing.
These are the only two options for pizza, by the way, right here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Neither of which to me are the most satisfying pizza, but we're gonna have some slices. You gonna tell me what you think? I'd love to know your reactions.
This is really good, actually. The what's this one again? The big one?
Stella's
Stella's
focaccia pizza. So we've done ASMR already on this episode. Now we're doing like a mukbang, basically. What do you think? The Stella's one tastes nice and fresh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, comparatively, take a bite of the Pizza Bite.
Pizza Bite. Here we go. Okay.
The crust looks weird.
The crust does. It is a little weird.
It looks like they just get crusts brought in.
I would say that it was previously frozen. Mm-hmm. It's kind of has that texture.
It has the pizza has a musty taste to it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
kind of like an old book.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what? An old
how like an old book smells. This tastes like
that.
that.
Yeah, it does. It does taste like that.
It might not smell like that, but it tastes like that.
It tastes like that smells.
Yes. This tastes like an old book smells.
But if I were drunk, absolutely.
So, not drunk you prefers the Stella's.
Oh yeah.
Do you think drunk you would prefer Pizza Bite?
If you gave me either or in front of me, drunk me would eat both of them.
Yeah. You can have one or the other. No, you give me a choice. My choice is both. If I can have one or the other, that means I have access to both, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm taking both, damn it. All right, well, you know what I think? I think we're going to finish eating these slices, and then I think it's time to write a song.
Yeah.
Are you in?
I'm in.
All right, let's do it.
If I had a ride, I was going to bring this like little joke ukulele I have that like never stays in tune.
I like it. I find ukuleles are actually fun to write on because they sort of strip down any fancy stuff you can do, and they just strip it down to like just the chords. And I find it actually like for me when I would mess around on mine, it would really help me come up with melodies.
Nice.
Because you can't do anything impressive musically.
So am I singing the whole thing? Or?
Just don't sing on this. We'll do your vocals separately, so we can isolate them. Just do the guitar, even the parts that aren't written yet. Just play out whatever you think the whole song will be, maybe.
All right.
Yeah. Want to sing it along with it? I think just go with your instincts right now and write down what comes out and feels right.
Cool. After like the part where it's you, I feel like I need to repeat that part, like the I tried everything, but like different lyrics. So maybe that's when we can incorporate like.
Yeah.
And I've searched.
verse is saying that they feel this way, and then the second verse is all like the insecurities.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to either decide if this character goes through with it, or if they're stuck in this place and that's what this song is about, that they're just kind of paralyzed.
What I have written down here is, she's high on the thought of falling in love. She's as stubborn as I, but I'm not giving up.
Oh, I like that.
I can take it slow with her, but I can get her there quicker than she knows. You said hold me close, but don't hold my hand. She said I can fall. Take my hand and wander with me. I can't do this on my own. I wonder, will you join me? 'Cause and I've tried everything, yeah, I've tried everything, but it's you. And I've been looking everywhere but where I know you'll be, 'cause I'm scared I'll find out what you think of me. You said hold me close, but don't hold my hand. I can guide myself, I fall in the land. She don't need me, but I need her more. And she knows, she knows. I tried everything, yeah, I tried everything, but it's you. And I've been looking everywhere but where I know you'll be, 'cause I'm scared I'll find out what you think of me. I've been looking everywhere but where I know you'll be, 'cause I'm scared I'll find out what you think of me. Baby, you need to take my hand and wander with me.
There's Eric Ducharme, our guest this week, with his song "I Wonder." It's that's one of a few songs now that I've heard from the guest later. They actually incorporated it into their live show. Eric said that he played that at a couple of open mics now. And also the song from our first episode with Matt Moskal, Bad Coffee. I guess he said he's putting that into his set too. This is exciting. We're making like real songs here. They're out there in the world. I said earlier that Eric is a quiet person. I'm sure you picked up on that. I also want to say, on the subject of quiet people, I believe it's important to listen to the quiet people. Obviously, they don't get hurt as much. And I'm not saying it's, being quiet makes you any more observant or astute than other people. That's not what I'm saying. We all have thoughts and beliefs and insecurities. I was a quiet kid. I'm still quiet a lot of the time. I need time to myself to just not be a part of the speaking world. In my job, I deal with people all day. You got to be at least pleasant. You've got to be able to converse. And I can do that part. I enjoy it. I enjoy talking. Most of this show, look what I'm doing right now. When I was growing up, I don't know if kids are treated this way anymore, but when I was growing up, you would hear things from teachers and, adults, things like, you're too sensitive. You're too quiet. Speak up. Get out there. It was, I guess, a belief that everyone needed to rise up to a certain level of what they saw as functionality, of being able to engage in the world. And if you weren't at this minimum level of being able to engage, you were not going to make it in some way. Or maybe you were just a type of kid they didn't know how to deal with. Teachers spend all day keeping the loud kids in line and making sure they behave. What about when a kid is misbehaving quietly? What do? How do you correct that? It wasn't their fault because they were taught the same thing. This is generational. The loudest people, the most aggressive people, those are the ones who make it. They get ahead because it is a world where grabbing what you want got you what you wanted. I'd like to think culturally we're moving a bit past that in some ways. I hope we are. Please know if you're a quiet person, if you feel like you don't want to speak up, you don't want to be one of the louder people in the room, that's fine. That's not a failure. It's not a flaw or a weakness. Your thoughts and your opinions, your feelings, it's all valid. If you are irritated by the obnoxious person who won't stop talking, don't feel like they've got something over you, or you've got to be that to be valid in some way or get the stuff that they've got. Also, if you want to become that obnoxious person, go for that too. Speak up. That's fine. That's cool. It's your choice. Thank you for listening to the show again this week. Please, if you enjoy it, tell your friends about it. Spread the word. Recommendations. I would love some help. I appreciate very much all the love we're getting on social media. Thank you for the shares and the likes and the shout outs. It's been great, and it really does make a difference. Thank you so much. You can follow us on social media. Hey, Let's Write a Song is our Instagram handle. On Twitter, we are Write a Song Pod. We're also on Facebook. And I put every episode up on YouTube as well. And I found out this week someone I know just listens to the episodes on YouTube, which is great. I was wondering who that was, putting the views on there. Also, I want to mention we are halfway through the season now. We got 5 more episodes to go. There's going to be, if all goes well, a not very long break between seasons. I don't want it to just kind of hang there. There are some very cool things on the way for the second half of the season. I'd say the songs on average get a little more elaborate. Going forward, it's just the way it worked out, stacking things at the end. And we got a great one next week, a wonderful song, and a super interesting guest who I think you're going to enjoy. I will see you for that right here next time on Let's Write a Song.